from the upper right corner of your screen, I suspect. It's John Danner, your co-host with my colleague Mark Coopersmith and our sponsor, the Nick, on this series of The Resilient Entrepreneur, Building Success and Surviving Setbacks. In this installment, I'd like to focus on another stage of the failure value cycle that Mark introduced. It's stage 3. So you respect failure. You've begun to rehearse for failure. And now the question is, how good are you at recognizing failure early? Because the sooner you can recognize the symptoms of potential failure, probably the easier it is going to be to prevent something from getting worse, minimize the costs involved in dealing with the failure, and most importantly, learning from that mistake or failure in the making. And that's about your early warning system. Now, you know about early warning systems in the sense of warfare and national defense and things like that. But I'm going to give you another example of an early warning system that you might want to keep in mind. And it's one that you may not have seen in real life, but you certainly know about in real life. And it's this animal, the American beaver. Now, you know the phrase busy as a beaver, but that's not the one I'm talking about. In this case, I'm going to talk about what it is that this animal responds to, that you might want to keep in mind as you think about how your organization and your team might better recognize the signs of failure sooner than later. My wife and I had the experience a number of years ago of hiking in the woods in Vermont, and we happened across a beaver pond, which we'd never seen before. And fortunately, the beaver didn't hear us, so we were able to watch it for a while. And both of us were curious about this animal. It looks a little strange. We'd never seen one in the wild. We looked at how it was building its lodge, and we looked around the pond and saw the evidence of the cut down trees that they had gnawed with their teeth. And we got kind of curious about it. So after we got back to the place we were staying, we started reading up on it. And I discovered something in the process of learning about this animal that was pretty intriguing. And here's the question. What do you think is the signal that this animal uses to start building a dam, or once it has constructed a dam for its family, knows to restore the perimeter of that dam because it's in danger of flooding? You know what it is? The sound of running water. Isn't that an amazing thing? The sound of running water. And when you think about the elegance of that signal for this animal, where you have running water, there's an opportunity to build a dam potentially. But once you have a dam, that sound of running water is potentially a threat. It means that the dam you constructed may need to get repaired pretty quickly to protect your family. And what I'd like to invite you to think about is, what is the sound of running water in your venture? What are those things that are happening out on the perimeter of your business today? Those nagging indicators, those things that you haven't quite made sense of, but they don't quite feel right to you. It might be something that a competitor's doing. It may be some feedback you're getting from customers that doesn't quite make sense to you yet. Those are the kind of early signs potentially to pay attention to. Because the sooner you can detect those early indicators of failure, the easier it's going to be to fix them, the easier it's going to be to learn from them, and the cheaper it's going to be to minimize the damage of that failure to your business. So when you get to this stage 3 of the failure value cycle, recognize, keep your peripheral vision open as much as your focused vision on the day-to-day mechanics and details of your business. And if it helps you, remember the animal, the American beaver, and the sound of running water. See you next time. Good luck.